you say the Mama Podcast?
Mama Podcast.
Hi Mama, you're listening to the Mama Podcast. It's Sumaya here, the co-founder of Mama Emmy app. Mama Emmy is the first app to exclusively connect mothers across the Middle East, connect with like-minded mamas and creates lifelong friendships. At Mama, we are all about connecting mamas to empower women. So let's join together and make this mission a reality.
Hey friend, it's so great to have you back here with me listening in to our next episode. Today I'm talking to the wonderful ladies from Koala Picks and we're talking all things healthy snacks. So let's get stuck right in. Welcome Aya and Omnia. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll talk a little bit about your journey to getting Koala Picks. But before we start, you're both here with me today. So I'd love for an introduction from you both. And then, just a little bit about what got you to where you are in terms of starting the business.
So I'm Aya and I am a mom of two boys, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. And for that, I used to do like kids parties and stuff. But then me and my husband, who's also our third partner, Ahmed. So we came up initially with the idea of Koala Picks. Our kids were our own inspiration, basically. So it was because of them we thought of Koala Picks. In terms of work, I'm the one who handles more on the operations side, kitchen team, product development, new ideas for categories. Again, because my kids ask me for things, so I always get inspired from them. So basically that's what I do more or less. We also have some crafting part of the business where we like to add to our subscribers some crafting kits every once in a while. I'm the one who does that because it's basically my passion as well.
Hi, I'm Omnia. So I've been friends with Aya and Ahmed for a very long time. We go way back, and when they were talking to me about the idea of the business, I thought it was a great idea, and I thought that it was a very we have little to no options that's tailored to kids, and specifically to things that kids enjoy, rather than giving them like a boring oat bar. It's more like, okay, here's a really good brownie that's healthier, or a cookie or crackers, things that are usually high in preservatives, high in sugar, and all that. We partnered up, and we've been working on this for the past 2 years now. We've been in business for just over a year. We started in October 2019. And it's been crazy. It's been fun, a lot of work, a lot of stress, but really good times. And sometimes we just sit and think like, we've come such a long way, and there's always more to come. I'm not a mom yet, but I'm expecting twins at the moment. So I'm super excited for my kids to have something to look forward to and to have them snack on when they start snacking. That's exciting. And in terms of work and my role at Koala Picks, I handle all the marketing, PR, social media, and of course we all do certain things, but we all do everything. I jump in and help Aya when she needs me to. Aya helps me out when I need her to. So it's a very flexible environment, of course. That's what I mainly handle.
Firstly, congratulations. Like, how exciting. It's exciting, definitely, becoming a mom. And it'll be exciting for you to see how the company and how the brand will actually fit into your lifestyle being a mom as well, I'm sure. And I'm sure there'll be so much inspiration that will come from having like really young babies, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's exciting. I think it's my advantage that it's my first pregnancy, so I don't know any different. So, yeah.
I think sometimes it's the best way. I'm sure Aya, you'll agree with this. Like, it's better if you just don't know, right?
Yes, you just get surprised.
Honestly, I love Koala Picks so just give you a little background of what my experience was with snacks and what I had to experience because a lot of my time was spent in the UK, and I had my daughter in London, and then was transitioning, like we were traveling between London and Dubai quite a lot. And so I would quite often pick up tons of snacks when I would go back to London and then bring them back with me, just because when I started looking for healthier snacks here, it was actually quite challenging compared to what was on the shelves in the UK. So like when I used to travel back to London, I'd just pick a lot up. And now she's a lot older, she's 2.5, it's you no longer want, like just the things that melt in their mouths. You want snacks that are, more toddler-based snacks, things that are actually good for their palate, that actually introduces them to more flavors. You don't want just bland flavors, because that obviously impacts what they eat for meal times as well. So when I came across Koala Picks, I love the idea. I love that it's actually like you've got a handful of ingredients in your packs. You can pretty much understand each and every one of the actual ingredients, which is honestly amazing, because there's not many things on the shelves like that. Is that what you started with in terms of, was that your goal? Was that the main thing, that you wanted something that was like clean and pure rather than it just being snacks for children?
Yeah, so I remember the day the idea came was when my husband, because he's the more health conscious one in the relationship, so he came back saying, I tried to find something for Yasin, which is our oldest. Then he was like 4 years, and we were quite, I wouldn't say strict, but we never introduced unhealthy stuff. So he has no idea what's chocolate back then or what's anything. But now he started school and he sees other kids have stuff. So he starts asking, what's a muffin? What's a cookie? What's a cupcake? And at that time, of course, we don't want to be the very strict parents who don't provide options, But I remember Ahmed went to one of the supermarkets. He came back. He said, I checked everywhere, even the organic section. The labels have numbers. I don't know what are the numbers. And it says organic, but it's full of sugar. So that doesn't make sense. And I think that was the trigger. That was it. And he was like, I think we should do something about that. I'd love to have healthy options for our boys. And I'm sure other parents are struggling. So why not? Let's do this. Yeah, that was the turning point where we said, we don't want sugar. We need to find alternatives. And it was the journey of finding the right ingredients, developing the recipes. We have a nutritionist. She's our consultant. So she helped us so much in the beginning, like approving ingredients or saying, no, this is artificial, this is natural, you can use this, not that. And from there, it all began that what are our basics? So basics are no refined sugar, no preservatives, no artificial flavors, no trans fats. So only the good stuff. And from there, we started developing each recipe.
I love that, because I totally relate to that. I'm definitely that person that stands in the supermarket and reads the pack and reads the back of every single thing that I buy. So honestly, I can definitely relate to what your husband was going through, because that's the challenge I found as well when I was looking for snacks in Dubai. And then in the end, you just have to like give in and just select something that's okay. I love that you actually went down that route. And I know we just started talking about the dairy-free concept just before we started recording, but I'd love to go into more detail with that, because like my daughter does have a cow's milk allergy, which means that she's completely dairy-free. And that also is another challenge when we're looking for snacks, because a lot of snacks do have milk powder or butter or other like sort of milk-based products in them. And I love that you did have some products dairy-free. Are you sort of expanding that?
But one thing that we try to do really well here is we try to listen to what people want. So one thing we've noticed in the beginning, we were like, okay, gluten and dairy-free isn't a priority because we're barely like, we're just started operations, and we were super swamped with like thinking of new snacks and fixing those snacks, like we started with a certain range, and some people just didn't like certain things, and we just had to accept that we needed to either change the recipe or think of something new. So we were adapting to that. And then once we had that kind of under a handle, and obviously everything with COVID kind of delayed a few things, and then or prioritized different things. And then we launched the gluten and dairy free because we felt that a lot of people had asked us if we had options, and we realized that, there are way more gluten and dairy free allergies out there than we would expect. I know Aya's youngest son.
Yeah, my youngest was born with cow milk's protein allergy.
Yeah.
So 2 years till but then he was cured by himself. I was very strict, not giving him anything. And then at a point when I started doing the milk ladder thing to test how is he doing, by 2 years he had accepted yogurt. So that was a big milestone. And then he can have dairy now. but it was a personal struggle as well for me. So I know how hard it is to find dairy-free snacks. So it was a mission, and it's not easy because we spent like months of trials. Like, okay, let's take our basic cookie recipe, let's try and make it gluten and dairy-free. Texture changes, and then I don't know what changes. Okay, let's change the recipe again. And we definitely want to expand more this range. We have currently like maybe
We have about
6, 7 snacks.
Maybe 6 snacks and 2 breakfast or 3 breakfast items. Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely want to expand it, but we thought that was a good range to start and test.
Yeah.
And we understand that parents, it gets hard when when Aya was saying, like, her eldest son started to see other people eating certain things, and you can't just say no all the time. You kind of have to meet them in the middle at some point. And I think especially with, maybe you would relate as well with having your daughter's allergy, like it's nice to have her also be able to have a cookie and a muffin in her lunchbox, and fruit roll and fun things that other kids eat, and not feel like she's so restricted or she has to stick to cucumber sticks and veggies, which are great, but like
it's all about balance. I totally agree with you. I feel like you said, when they start seeing other children eating the things, then you have to have at least alternatives. So then you feel more confident and comfortable as a parent, them having certain snacks.
Take my nieces and nephews and I see other kids like in play areas or in just out and about in the mall. It's really difficult to find healthy snacks. So we recently started to introduce, we've started to partner up with places like the Monkeys, Fun City, Fun Block, a lot of play areas where, we have a little stand with healthy snacks there, because maybe you don't want to give your kid chocolate bar, or a donut, or, while he's already or she's already exerting so much energy and probably having all running around and everything. I think that's another struggle. Like Aya said, the in-between, the fillers of the meals.
Yeah.
And then I think also going out, which is why all our packs, we try to have them, everything is resealable. Everything can be taken on the go. There's no huge packaging.
Yeah.
And everything's kind of bite-sized and easy to just eat on the go.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you. I'm quite shocked sometimes what you see in the counters when you go to these play areas. They're really young children, and croissants and donuts and cakes, and you just think, oh gosh, we can't be putting this in our children, because it really does impact not just their health but their mental state as well, and they're still growing, right? We really need to help support them.
Use honey because it's much more nutritious than refined sugar, and we use date powder, which is basically dates that have been dried and then powdered. So it still has fibers, it still has all the nutritious parts of the dates in it.
Okay.
And it doesn't cause the glycemic index to spike. So what happens with kids when they have sugar is that glycemic goes up, they're so hyper running, and then it drops dramatically suddenly, which then causes the tantrums, the mood swings, all this. So what we are trying to do, not to do so much fluctuations when it comes to the amount of, even when you use honey, we try to control it as much as possible. We don't like to have sweet snacks, just the right level of sweetness to make sure.
In terms of starting the business, obviously you've gone through COVID, and I commend you for being able to withstand, especially something that goes on the shelves, and it's really quite challenging running a business in itself and then having to deal with a pandemic. How do you guys manage? I mean, Aya, you specifically, because you're a parent to 2 children. How do you manage business and parenting? And then how are you dealing with pregnancy and the business? How are you managing? How would you both cope?
Yeah, well, it's not so easy most of the time.
Homeschooling.
Yeah, with homeschooling, and then with the pressure of COVID, and then especially around April last year, April, May, June, when there were so many, the lockdown and everything. And we were so unsure. Do we close? Do we stay in business? Because our main model when we first launched was subscriptions, okay? That was the only model actually that we had. And our subscribers used to use our snacks only for lunch boxes. So when they announced schools has closed, shut down, we lost instantly like so many subscribers because they decided, okay, we're staying home, we don't need the snacks. So we're not going out, we don't need the snacks. And a lot of people got also financially like hit, so they decided to cut down the costs. So of course it was a very tough time. Business-wise, it was not making sense. So much money we had to like cover expenses, salaries, everything. And at the same time, I have two kids at home who I need to concentrate with. One of Yasin, who was in FS2 then, like he had homeschooling, activities, and I felt so guilty. Like mom guilt was killing me for months because here I am trying to finish work, trying to like fight every things that going wrong, but on the personal level, I'm not there enough for him. And I remember so many nights I would go back home so tired, I would cry because I really didn't know what to do. But it took me a lot of work on myself, and I had to take time to just realize that what I'm doing on the work level is actually for him. And it's small moments where he comes and he talks about our snacks and he tells me like this is his favorite, or if he's talking to a friend, or
He promotes them at school.
he promotes them at school. Yeah, like when he used to go to school, he would open his lunchbox and he says, this is Koala Picks, this is healthy. When his like teacher came and told him like, this is a cookie, why do you have a cookie at school? And he's like, no, this is healthy, there's no sugar. And those small things, when you realize that what you are doing really just translates into your kids, and he's so much aware of what he's eating. And yes, of course, he loves candy and he loves lollipops, and I'm trying to find a solution for that now. But still, he admires what we're doing. When we went to a play area and he found our stand there, and he got just a random kid from inside, and then we took him and he stood there and says, my mom and dad make these snacks. Just those moments are the moments that like balance all the guilt I feel usually. So yeah, it's hard. I still do I feel guilty at times, but I'm working on it to just make sure it's not too much, that I'm trying to balance. And I try the 2-3 hours after work and before their bedtime, I try to completely disconnect from work. I just focus on them, we play together, and then once they sleep, I can resume again what I'm doing.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's great that you inspire him, and ultimately that's what you want as a parent, to inspire your children. But when you're in the thick of it and you're doing the daily, day-to-day tasks, we put so much pressure on ourselves for being everywhere all the time and doing everything to the best of our abilities. And I think, yeah, it's great that you've obviously recognized that, and that we all feel mom guilt, right? Like it's not like on the surface, sometimes we think that because someone's building a business that they don't feel it or they don't actually experience these emotions, but everyone experiences it.
Yeah, I think just to add to COVID, when everything started, like Aya said, we were very confused. We were like, what's going on? Like first quarter, like Jan, Feb, and March. So we launched October 2019. So Jan, Feb, March was literally 2-3 months after we started operations. Those were, Jan, Feb were great months, and we got super excited. First week of March was a good one. We still talk about it. And suddenly we just felt like, I'm sure a lot of businesses, not only small businesses, went through the same thing. It was just a crazy decline. But I do have to say, looking back at it, we gained so much from this time because we have always been talking about making a breakfast and baking range, pancake mixes, granola, cereals, and things like that. We probably wouldn't have launched it as fast as we did. We launched it so fast. I was very proud of us for how quickly we came up with, ingredients, new labels, new packaging. Just there's a lot that goes through launching new products. Legal work, all that stuff. We had to act quick because people were spending time at home. People wanted stuff for breakfast. They wanted fun activities like making cookies, making pancake mix and pancakes in the morning with their kids. things to keep them entertained. So I think that was a huge win. And then, like Aya said, prior to COVID, we had subscriptions, and then we realized, you know what? Why don't we do single snack boxes that you can just buy as a one-off? Because some people, we started to kind of listen to what people wanted. A lot of people miss their friends, a lot of people miss their families. Like if you remember, no one saw anyone for a very long time. It wasn't like now. And we wanted to give people an opportunity to like gift something to their friends, kids to gift something to their teachers who they haven't seen in a long time. So that worked out really well for us. I feel like from a business perspective, and we just had a meeting last week, and one thing we did say was the best thing we did was just broaden our range, and kind of, because now you go to our website and you have options. You want to subscribe, that's great. So some people, it works really well for them because they want the weekly snacks. They want to not think about it and not have to place an order every week or every few days, and just have it as a service that's ongoing. Some people don't prefer that way. They want to order as they like. They want to test different things. Some people have certain allergies. Some people want breakfast. So I really think that COVID started that trend for us. And now we've just launched our new spreads, like last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah. So like I think it's just put us in a different momentum. I think prior to COVID, we took longer and we gave ourselves more of a grace period. And now we're like, we can do it faster. We know we can. So we need to launch the spreads right away.
That's
so
amazing.
Proved a lot for us as a team, I think.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, like it's something like so negative brought something so positive out for you guys as a business. And like the pivot is something you hear about all the time, but it's great that you managed to do that and actually like stay afloat during COVID. And now you're like literally soaring, which is amazing. If we just go on a slightly different topic in terms of like when you start weaning your children, and this is where I said, I'm sure you'll have so much excitement having young babies, because I'm sure it'll bring a range which you may not have even thought about, or maybe you've thought about it, but you've not started working on it yet. But any tips for like moms that want to sort of have healthy snacks for their children and started their weaning process, but then they are sort of having to deal with this like challenge of like other children and what they eat and what other parents offer their children? Do you have any tips that have worked for you, or any sort of advice or guidance?
So what I usually do with my kids, I love to give them choices and have them, so kids like to choose themselves. If you try and force something on them, they might get stubborn and say no and stuff like that. So what I like to do is like give choices. So I would tell my son, would you like some cucumbers or broccoli or carrots? They're all healthy choices. I'm quite happy with all three, but you just make them feel like they're choosing something. This helps a lot because first of all, you get them introduced to different stuff. When you're consistent with one thing, they love it. So let's say first time I tried to give him broccoli, he didn't like it so much, and then I tried again. By the fifth time, he loved it, and now he would eat broccoli just like that as a snack, and which is amazing for me. Like I never thought I would manage to do that. I still think I'm lucky with him. But also in terms of weaning, it's very important for them to be independent in terms of how they eat. So I wasn't that aware with my oldest. He wasn't that, I used to feed him a lot. Like I was always afraid of the mess. And with my second, he is super independent. He was like, I would put his plate on his table. So it's like a routine for him. He knows that once the plate is on the table, he goes in, he sits, he starts eating, he finishes his food, he takes the plate back empty to the kitchen. And I was quite surprised when you give them the freedom to feed themselves, they actually eat much better because it's at their own pace. Right. He would leave the plate, he would go play and come back. But he still tends to finish his food. And they love finger food. So I always make sure that within the meal, there's something he can hold in his hands and eat, like either some cucumber or some carrots, or in our case, like he loves with breakfast, I would give him some of our rainbow breadsticks, or our crackers. So these are the kind of snacks that we have that also kids who are moving into the weaning phase are perfect for them, because they can hold them, they can feel the texture, they have different tastes, and these are the things you need to focus on when you are in this phase, that you introduce different textures, different colors even. So you don't get kids to be afraid of the color green, because in their mind green is like bad, it's spinach, it's broccoli, it's what. But like our rainbow breadsticks, we have a green breadstick, it's parsley, but the kids love it. They don't think it's a veggie, but it is actually, and they just love eating it. They love the pink one, although it's beetroot, and you would never think that your kid would have something beetroot, but they love it. So it's how you make weaning fun, how you hide the veggies, but you make sure that the texture is actually very nice, so this complements this things we have. Of course, once they pass the 1 year mark,
they can have everything.
They can have more or less everything. Again, so we get a lot of questions that, like, my kid is like 1.5 years, can he has everything? Well, technically he can, or she can, but we always say stay away from the too chocolatey items. Yes, we don't use unhealthy chocolate or anything with sugar, but yet you still want their palates to get more used to savory stuff or stuff with low amounts of sugar. So when someone comes and say, my kid is like 18-month-old, can I subscribe? And I'm always quite honest. I'm like, listen, you can customize your box, so you get to choose every week what you want in it. However, it's a statement. We do have chocolate items, we do have this kind of stuff. So if you feel like you want to wait for a couple of months till he's 2 maybe, then you want to introduce more and more flavors, then maybe you just wait, and for now buy the more suitable stuff on the website as single snacks. So we always like to advise moms on what works for their kids in terms of their age bracket.
I love that. I mean, just going back to the rainbow breadsticks, they're incredible, by the way. I'm definitely one of those moms that dips into the child's snack because I'm usually hungry too. And so she has now learned that this is what happens. So she, the other day, was running away from me with her breadstick pack because she didn't want me to eat them. But they do taste amazing.
Me and my husband are subscribed, and we fight over the snacks all the time. All the time. Yeah. And when we have breadsticks, he's like, where's the labna? Where's the hummus? You know? And I think our snacks overall are very versatile. Like they're not just for kids. You know, that is where we found that we needed to tap into the most, which is why it revolves around kids. Our branding is about kids. We have a cute koala, you know, our packaging is colorful. So we definitely are there to cater to kids, but you know, we eat the snacks all the time. We're always snacking on them here. And yeah, with that being said, we do feel like we are, you know, neglecting the young age. So we are brainstorming some fun ideas for that to come soon. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, we do feel, I think that, you know, hopefully once I have my babies and they're all safe and sound, we'll speed that up a bit more. Be
exactly, for you.
Yeah, I need it to happen. Let's go. You know, they're getting older. So yeah, we definitely feel like, you know, like some families have, you know, the older kids, but they also have the younger ones, and it's just an opportunity that we're missing out on. And I think it's something that we could definitely help moms and parents have more options for all age groups of the family.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll come up with some amazing ideas, because the snacks that I've tried already have been great, and I'm actually quite excited to try the other ones. I'll look on your website for the other dairy-free options for my daughter. Any final words, any final things you want?
I think just that, you know, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time. I follow you guys on Instagram, and I think it's such a super cute feed. It's very funny and light. I like it. And I think that just to say, you know, to anyone listening, thanks for listening. And if anyone has any feedback or any ideas, we're always happy to have people inspire us with ideas or anything that they're struggling with. You know, we're always happy to brainstorm and think of new things. And yeah, I mean, just stay healthy, stay safe, and that's all for me. I don't know, Aya, if you want to add anything.
No, just thank you for the amazing opportunity. It's always nice to have a platform or a space to talk about the story. Again, I'm sure other people have so many ideas, especially moms. Like, I know so many moms who are great and they're talented and they really want to start something, but they're always afraid of starting something and they feel like, oh, I can't do it, it's hard. But yeah, it's hard, but definitely it's worth it. And just in case anyone is listening who's considering starting up something, just do it. I always say we have nothing to lose. It's always learnings. Even if we produce, like sometimes we launch a product and it fails, and we don't get bothered. It's a matter of trial and error. Yeah, okay, kids don't like that. Let's skip that. Let's do something else. So just for anyone who's listening who really wants to do something, just do it. There's plenty of ideas out there for people to do. And otherwise, for Koala Picks, we have great plans for the future. I have so many categories in my mind that I want to work on. We're just taking it one step at a time. But yeah, we're trying to be there, and also not only online play areas. We're trying to do other partnerships with other websites to get our product also again out there. Yeah, so also we're always up to collaborations, and yeah, if anyone thinks they can tie up, like fit our brand, we're always open to that. And
yeah, and I think just one last thing that I have to mention is find the right partners. You know, like honestly, like from day one, me, Ahmed, and Aya have been a great trio. We've never, you know, like we have our moments, but we're all very helpful. We're very flexible with each other. We're very understanding. We know when to step back. We know when to step in. And I think that's right. That's like super, super key. You know, I think definitely jump into it and do it and start your own thing. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to, and definitely make sure you ask for help from the right people. Yeah, that's it. That's just the last thing I want to say.
I love your advice. And I completely 100% agree with everything that you've both just said. And I'm really excited to see you grow Koala Picks past what it is now, and like all the new categories that are due to come. Finally, where can listeners find you? And where's the best place to contact you if they want to contact you?
Sure. So basically, for contact, you can always email our info@koalapicks.com. You can contact us on WhatsApp. I can share the number with you later if you'd like, instead of just reading it out. We're very responsive on Instagram as well. I know a lot of people prefer to get in touch on Instagram, so that's also perfectly fine. And then obviously same number you can call us at. And I think where they can find our products, so our full range is completely all on our website. And then a lot of our products are available at the Pachika and Nakheel Mall. We're available in 8 Cheeky Monkey locations in Dubai. And we're available in
8 Fun City, Fun Block locations.
8 Fun City and Fun Block locations.
And actually today, for those who live in Abu Dhabi, so just today we're launching in 4 branches of Abu Dhabi co-ops.
Yeah, Ahmed's doing that as we speak.
Yeah, he's not here, he's doing that. So for everyone who's listening who lives in Abu Dhabi, Spar supermarkets, we're launching in 4. So that's actually very exciting for us because it's like the first real supermarket that we launch in. We hope it goes well and it picks up.
Yeah.
And that's where.
And we're also available on Farm Box.
Yes.
And if you want to do any catering or like fun play dates or anything like that, we have some products and catering fun boxes on bilbait.com.
Oh, nice. And so do you ship to everywhere in the UAE?
Yes.
Yes. Currently we're just in the UAE, but all the Emirates.
Yeah. And we do next day delivery as long as the orders come in before 1 p.m.
Thank you so much for your time again today. It was so amazing to speak to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.